welcome to Fake Deep Thinking, just a group of friends sitting down talking about the world. Today we have with us John,
Yo.
Doc,
Yo.
and myself, Eugene. So I gotta come clean to y'all. So we actually recorded this Monday, and I messed up and completely, not even forgot, I don't know exactly what happened, but my audio didn't get recorded. So we have a full hour of Doc and John pretty much talking to me in the background. So I dropped the ball. Nothing's ruined this time. We are recording, so you're going to get a full podcast this time.
Don't worry, Gene paid us twice this week.
This guy.
I mean, here's hoping. I don't know what the hell's happening in the background. What fate has deemed to break this time, but
yeah,
we got before.
Yeah, we got new topics this time
before.
because we don't really talk about the same thing.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't really talk about the same thing. So we're going to start it off with the Israel-Palestine conflict a little bit, because that seems to be like a trendy thing, and we didn't get into it last time, but we kind of like touched on it, so I guess let's dive into it this time. Personally, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really want to dive too much into it because I don't really know exactly like specifics on it. I just know that Hamas shot at Israel. Israel's Iron Dome got put into effect, and the pictures from that are crazy. I got this one right here where you see them shooting down 2 missiles, which looks kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. So I don't know how do y'all feel about it? Like,
honestly speaking, obviously I don't want to send troops. I don't want us to really have anything to do with it.
I mean, it goes back to Armageddon. You say we were talking about the Urugu-China thing. It's like,
but we have a large part to play in why they are fighting. So I don't know. I'm a little torn, and then also it's in our best interest. I'm really torn because it's in our best interest to protect Israel.
mm-hmm.
Because we do need that fortification in the Middle East.
That's our foot in the Middle East,
Our foot in the Middle East. But it's like almost like a little bit of recency bias, too, because it's like technically, okay, I guess the Hamas started this one. But, like, they've been warring for almost 100 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we were born.
And, like, the start of it was their land being taken away. So it's like, who's the bad guy? Who's the good? There's just so much time has passed that good and bad has become subjective. There's no real, you know what I'm saying? It's all based on personal. Like, are you more mad about the land, or are you more mad about 100 years later you're sending missiles into, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it just seems like all over the world, though, like, Muslims are getting the short end of the stick. Even in the Uyghurs, they're Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. The pictures look cool. I wish they would stop. But as far as the Iron Dome, that shit look crazy because it looks like literal wires being shot from the building. I mean, I know it's the jet fuel or whatever from the missiles, but it's just the aesthetic of it looks really cool.
I just think the technology behind it is crazy. They're tracking the missile, and the missile's able to pinpoint its location to blow it up in the air before it lands. That is insane.
It's like I saw a little documentary on it. It's like a 3-stage process. So one, it locates where the missile's firing from, and it tries to sever the connection there while the missile's still in the silo. 2, it tries to detect and like deter the missile to make it like go left when it's supposed to go to its target, and like maybe rear off into like a non-populated area. And then 3, it fires a counter missile to break it in the air.
I wonder how much the breakdown is. Like how much shrapnel actually.
It's crazy.
It's kind of impressive, dude. Like, I wonder if we have similar technology or better.
Well, part of
Israel's
America's dealings with Israel is this technology, because Israel's weird in the sense that like they fight everyone around them, and so they've developed a lot of countermeasures, a lot of counterintelligence, a lot of survival technology like this for when this stuff happens, and so like. We trade this stuff with them, like these details, this weaponry. So we have it too, but honestly, thanks to them.
I guess my only thing with this is, like, I understand what John said. Like, we kind of started this, but
like, are y'all going to boot up?
Yeah,
Like,
it's the same argument you had against Doc and I were talking about the Uyghurs thing. Like, are we willing to suit up and actually go? And
I don't know. I don't know if we'll suit up.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to get to is like, should we go and intervene or not?
Honestly speaking, there is no if we intervened, it would have to be peacefully because Israel's the big gun here. So it's not even like they would need help from a strip of land. They don't even have a country for real. It's a strip of land. It's a strip.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
Israel can do it. It's just
yeah,
kind of everyone right now is like
Israel's
in
not
this
killing them on
weird
purpose.
state where they're arguing whether or not they should
Wipe them
defend
out.
the underdog, which is the Palestinians, or back Israel.
I've seen a lot of pro-Palestinian stuff going around.
100%. Nobody likes the
Yeah.
underdog anymore. I mean, nobody likes the big dog.
Dude, it's complicated
automatic.
as hell though, because
We're
I
American.
read
We always
into
like the
it and
underdog.
like I got down to the specifics and it's like a lot of stuff, man. It's conflict. Like I don't think there's like a right or wrong side. I think it's just conflict.
100%.
Like it's just there's so much history and bad blood between
And
these
it's
people
religious.
that they're experiencing a lot. Like
They believe they have claim to the promised land. Yeah.
yeah, they both do.
They
And
both
they're
do.
both not willing to back down from it too. So like the Jews were there in that land originally, and then they went through their history and like the Exoduses and stuff like that, and like the Egyptian like conquests of them and slavery, which led to the Bible Exodus. And then they went to the rest of the world where they're like, yeah, okay, like after leaving Egypt, we're gonna go and live in the rest of the planet. And then they experienced World War II and the Holocaust. And after the Holocaust, at that time, the Palestinians still owned that region of land, but Britain had occupied it during World War II, and I think even before, I think it might have been a colony. But after World War II, Britain backed out, and when we were working with them, uh, okay, no, they actually Britain backed out in World War One when they owned it as a colony, and they gave it back to them. And then after World War II, when the land was also returned after the conflict in that area, the United Nations discussed what to do with all the displaced Jews from the Holocaust that had been kept in camps and basically captured by the Germans and brought into like piles and piles of concentration camps and stuff like that. And even the European Germans, European Jewish people that had survived it, they were completely displaced. So what they did was they fucked up. They promised the Palestinians that they would give them a state, and they also promised the Jews that they would give them a state.
Why do we always gotta be
And
like the world? I don't
Guess
even know what to call it.
guess who was
man.
the
It's just-
leading country in the world?
well,
that
I mean,
had to
you
do the
had
most talk?
like you had millions of
Big
refugees
bald man.
from the Holocaust. Like you had to do something with these
No,
people.
I understand. Yeah.
And honestly, those people just said, "We want
Our
our
promised
own
land.
country." And like honestly, the world, because of the Holocaust, they were just like, "Fuck!" Like we feel bad. Like we should give you your own country. And so they asked for their original homeland, and the homeland was technically up, but not also technically because the Palestinians live there now. So like even though they had left earlier, like people now lived there. So Britain, because they were like, well, it used to be our colony. What we'll do is we'll give you our portion, and the Palestinians can keep the other portion, and that's the way it went down. So Israel used to be actually half as big as it is now, and one side was Palestinian, and one side was Jewish. Then the Palestinians who were living on the Jewish side got pissed because they were like, this isn't right. Like, this isn't your land anymore. We're here now. And they couldn't do anything because the United Nations just said, like, no, this is Israel now. So they actually have a holiday where they remember that half of the land was taken away. Like every year, it's called like Akbak or something like that, but they like remember it, and they basically commit it to their memory that like they need to take it back. And over the years progressions, like every 50 years, they would just enter a new war with each other about this stuff. The Jewish community would fight the Palestinian community because of the land and the separation and stuff like that. And in like 150 years of combat like this, what ended up happening was the Jewish people retook the rest of the Palestinian territory to the point to where they only have 25 miles. That is the Gaza Strip now.
25 miles of land.
And so at this point,
So can I
And
say
wasn't
something?
that wasn't that sanctioned by the UN too? Like you
What?
can't. Wasn't the strip itself sanctioned by the UN to the point where it was almost like to protect the Palestinians? Like you can't take them off this strip of land because it just seems like they've always had the ability to just kind of press the kill button, and it's almost like you're toying with them at a certain point. You want to say something?
No, I lost the thought honestly.
well, yeah, the Palestinians are basically like since like 1968, and they lost that war, and they lost like another chunk of their country, they're now left to the 25 miles that is the Gaza Strip. And there are still militants in there. There's still people that like believe in the dream of taking back all of Israel. And that's the Hamas group right now, which is in conflict. And so the reason why Hamas like went off is because uh, essentially a now right-leaning government formed in Israel, and all the representatives are all right-leaning, so they're all conservatives, and they all want to like double down on how Jewish Israel is. So they're actually evicting a lot of people that are Palestinian that live in Greater Israel, and some of them are being evicted like without like laws, like they're not given like the 2 week notice and stuff like that. They're just like being kicked out. They're just being displaced.
I don't like that.
And then so the Palestinians were like, you can't do that. Like even if that's not our territory anymore, like those people are living by your laws, and you're just kicking them out because they're Palestinian. And then that's when Hamas got pissed and fired the first rockets, and then Israel started firing the rockets back, and now they're fighting, and Hamas has already like come out saying like, all right, fine, we'll stop firing rockets, and Israel's like, no, like you started this, no, we're gonna finish it. And they're basically like on the mentality of like, we're gonna set you back to the Stone Age, because the ambassador that came out talking about it said that they're basically going to reset Hamas far enough that they what did he say? We're assured peace for years. So they're basically on like just a war path at this point.
Oh wow. See, this is why I don't really like. I don't want to talk about this really, because like, man.
Information, dog.
Yeah, it's just messed up. Like all it's
messed
conflict.
up.
Like, when I look at it, I was like, I don't know who's right, I don't know who's wrong. It's just conflict all around.
I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, I'm not trying to be pro-Palestinian or pro-Israel. It's just clearly, like we said, we started this. It's been going on for years, and we had some influence in it. You explained it a little bit. I don't think it was malicious influence. I really don't know the nuances of the continued influence we've had over there.
It wasn't malicious, but America doesn't do anything without,
Yeah, I know.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be here? Let's just always be cool forever.
I think a lot of people right now are just trying to stop like ethnic cleansing, because it seems that way. Like it seems that like because those people are backed into a corner, the Jewish or like the government of Israel is just like, we can wipe them out and we can just be done with this. And so everyone's like, dude, don't do that. Like that's fucked up. Like you can't do that. Even though physically and the reality is they're in full capability of doing it. They've already cut off the transports for aid into Gaza, because if you see on the map where Gaza is, Gaza's against the ocean, and then it's like all Israel before you get to the neighboring countries. So you have to go through Israel to get to Gaza. There's only like a short route from Egypt to Gaza, and so if Israel wants to cut off Gaza and siege it, yeah, they can starve those people to death if they wanted to, because the port is completely controlled by Israeli Navy, and they can just lock the people in that city and just wait till they die. So I think that's why everyone's just like, dude, you might be going a little too far. Like
it's 25 miles, dude. They can take that shit anytime they fucking want to, and they're just waiting for the excuse. I mean, that's what any other country would do. If you see a threat, you feel a threat's close enough to you, regardless of, right or wrong.
Try to be proactive. I guess my only comment, I kind of got into this with John a little bit before we started the podcast, was just, I just don't like the clout chasing going on within America. Like, I feel like and I said this before and I still believe this, I feel like it's similar to the whole black square when it comes to Black Lives Matter thing. Post your black square on Instagram if you support the Black Lives Matter movement and blah, blah, blah. It's just right now, so Palestine thing, like people are showing like whatever the people are saying about Palestine, blah, 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 the flags, and we're even talking about some hate crimes going on in California. I think even said New York going on against Jews. It's like, why are we letting this influence us here? Like, yeah, it's bad. Clearly we just went over it. Like, I'm not trying to say it's good, blah, 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 but like, why are we letting it affect us here? Why are we, I don't know. I just feel like America loves
to the black
to
square
be heard.
Thing, to the black square thing, the only reason why, in my opinion, it's not equatable, there were two different ways to approach the black square. One was post the black square and not use your social media for the rest of the day to show black people's impact on social media usage. And then the other was post pro-black information, as in first black inventor did this, look up this and that and this and that. So there was information either being passed or a point being made. It was unorganized. I believe there should have been 1 point being made instead of 2. But when you're talking about, like, for example, I brought up Kyrie Irving coming up and saying, oh, there's more important things to talk about after a basketball game than, his basketball game. My boy, what are you going to do for Israel or Palestine? Like, what can you do? Like, the attention, you think people don't know that missiles are going? Like, do you think nobody else cares? And so I agree with Gene. There's a lot of virtual signaling, and people are pretending to care more than they do. Yes, it sounds sad. Yes, it is sad. But just because something is sad, they're trying to claim the sadness from the issue and make it their own. And so now I either need empathy, sympathy, or follow my lead. There's some type of thing that I now need as a response to me saying I don't agree with what's going on in the Middle East. It doesn't end at me saying it. I need a response. And so I need a like, I need a retweet, I need a share, I need people to reach out in my DMs and say I'm doing something good. You know what I'm saying? But there's a thing that's needed, and that's not normally how doing good really works. So I completely agree with Gene.
I just never liked the social media stuff. Like some of it, when it's genuine, I have nothing to say about it. But if it feels any inkling of disingenuous, I just don't like it.
But
Not saying that the black square thing wasn't genuine. It's just some people, like, they didn't do the black information thing.
mhm.
They didn't stop using their social media after
They
they
just
posted the
kept-
square. They
100%.
just posted the square. It's like you just
100%.
want to, like we said, you just want to clout chase. You just want to be part of the movement, part
100%.
of it, but you really don't care.
But that goes back to one of our other conversations too.
I also think it's really interesting in the sense that, like, you're seeing that with companies a lot.
100%.
So the movement jump on. I think it's popular in the United States, but it's less so popular when it comes to, like, larger conflict or deeper conflict, I would say, because it's harder to what's the word I'm looking for? It's harder to be right.
Yeah, it's hard
You
to
know what I mean?
navigate.
Like with that company that I was telling you about, IGN, they're like an internet gaming news channel. It's all about gaming journalism. They have an Israel division. And so the US division posted all this pro-Palestinian stuff, and the Israel division was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, how can you do that? Like, you're the headquarters site, and all of a sudden you're against our enemy." And then the US division immediately took down all of that stuff because not against our enemy, but all of a sudden along, like, on the side of our enemy. So the U.S. division immediately took down all that stuff and realized, like, oh crap, like, this is actually complicated.
This is actually complicated.
No, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
like, there's a lot of people that are doing things, and not only that, like, Israel's policy. I realized this the other day when I was reading up on it. Israel's ideology is the right word, is Zionism, which is the concept that the Jews will one day have a country of their own, and the philosophy of that country will be Judaism. And that's what Israel is. Like, their religion goes hand in hand with their government. They have no separation of state and church. And so a lot of, like, the whatever happens, like, religiously is also an offense to them. And that's not simple because we don't think that way. You know what I mean? We separate church and state. So, like, we can easily jump on one bandwagon and not be on the other. But for them, it's just like, no, if, like, you're either with us or you're not. And so it's not easy to do little things like that, like the pro this, pro that, because you have no idea how you're going to affect them or how you're going to be viewed by them.
100%. 100%. But I have a question for you, both of you then. So we can agree on the virtue signaling and all that stuff, but at what point do we start to care about the intent of the person if the message is still there? Like, I already said what I thought Kyrie did was stupid or whatever. It's not the time or the place for that. But, like, even the people virtual signaling on the internet or their social media, right? If they're just trying to bring light to something, maybe misinformed, maybe one side or the other, but that's just how the world is. So if you're taking the biases out of each side and whatever side people are trying to virtue signal for, if they're not saying anything negative, how much should we let it bother us?
So is your question, when do we look at intent or when do we let it bother us?
Well,
Like, it's kind of the same
I
thing.
mean,
Like,
you're gonna have.
you know what I'm saying? Like, when does it become an issue for?
I feel like as Americans, even though there's a history behind it, I guess for me the cutoff point is when you start choosing a side and being an advocate of that side. It's like, you're an American, you're not Israeli, you're not Palestinian. Like, I understand you might have an opinion about it based off what's going on, but you shouldn't be being an outspoken person about that particular side. Like, I don't know, that just seems a little too much. Like, bring awareness to it, but keep your particular choice in the side you support, I guess, on the back burner. Like, you don't need to be like, I'm a pro-Palestinian, this is the things going on with Palestine, like, blah, 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 Israel, negative, bad this, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you're an American, chill out. Why? Like, yeah, it's bad. Like you said, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't need to let it affect you to the degree that's making you actually sad.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where, for me, it's like, what are you,
I mean,
like,
that makes sense.
what are you doing? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, what are your intentions here? Like, do you want to make me sad? Do you want to motivate me to go over there? Like, what do you want at this point? Like, what do you
Just wanna
want?
talk.
Yeah.
100%.
I also think there's a conflict in the way that like the social platforms are doing the whole link to charity groups and stuff like that and link to this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because in the eyes of the Israeli, when you support money to give to the Palestinian charities, you're giving that money to terrorist groups.
Yeah,
And
we
so
said- remember,
it's
we
very
had this
conflicting to be
conversation.
like, oh, I thought I was just, giving them aid. Like, I was just helping them out. And they're like, yeah, you are giving aid, but you're giving aid to a terrorist group. It's the equivalent to them, of us sharing links on Instagram to give aid to Al Qaeda. And like other, like, you know
That's
what I
how
mean?
they
Like
view
other
it.
things that could
Mhm.
happen like that, like 9/11. Like, you're supporting that. You're funding it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it a little bit harder to go like, oh, okay, let me just share these links to these groups. Especially if you don't understand the conflict.
For me personally, when it becomes a problem is when you try and invoke anything from me. Like, that's my cutoff point. So you can virtue signal all you want. If I can scroll past it and I can just keep it pushing, I'm not gonna get mad that you posted something. I don't even care if you pick a side, to be honest with you. That's the world. Like, people pick sides. Like, so I have to like just be okay with people picking sides. That's how it works. But the second you're telling me something, or I see you're putting something out purely to invoke something from as a response, not to be seen, but to get a response, that's when I'm like, nope, I'm good. I don't even care what side you're on, right or wrong. I honestly don't. Nope, because if you dig deep enough, everybody's gonna be wrong. If you dig deep enough, everybody's eventually right. So no, I'm just I'm good on stuff like that.
I feel like this particular situation going on too is just so
Complex and
complex
layered.
and layered that we shouldn't even be getting too involved when it comes to our opinions, because like Doc pointed out, if you donate to a charity for the Palestinian group, the Israelis see it as you're giving money to their enemy, to a terrorist group, and then now they're not looking at it kindly. It's just like, it's snowball effects, it's domino effects. It's like, why are we playing with dominoes?
And especially as an American company, you have to be really, really careful because, like I said,
Yeah, like
there's
IGN.
there's a large influx of Americans or African Americans becoming Muslim, becoming Islamic, because most African countries started Islamic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
So-
we've hit a state in the world where we're just so interconnected, where it's just like,
That's
oh,
why you got to be
shit.
careful, because then we have
Now we-
large Jewish communities in America.
Now we
Large.
actually have to think about how we interact
worship-
with the planet.
Mhm.
And this is
Who
the
we
funny
view-
thing is, this is what we wanted too. People want a world. I want to say a world government, but they want some kind of world society, I guess.
Yeah.
And
They
the
wanna
thing
be
is, though, you
connected.
got to understand, when it comes with the world society, there's now more responsibility. There are things like they have their spot in the world, and you could say something based off your spot in this side of the world that could affect them, influence them, bother them. Like, yeah, we have free speech, but sometimes some things don't need to be said.
Huh. Make sure this mic facing the right way. Well, everybody like talking, don't they? Oh, dumbass. Everybody dumb. Everybody's really, I won't say dumb. Everybody just, like I said, we greet each other with our insecurities. And I think it's on a global level too. Countries, same way. We interact with our insecurities first, and we want those things to be coddled so we can feel comfortable. Oh, we're scared you might do this. I need you to do this to make me feel this way. That is the craziest combination. But hey, man, got whole societies built off this shit. Not gonna bring up the fucking Vatican. Not gonna bring that up again.
Council of Nicaea. Any last thoughts before we transition? Now we got that out of the way.
My only thought is like, what would the UN do? So Israel has already stated, I mean, they might walk it back, but they've already stated that they're not gonna let up after Hamas has asked for peace, and so
we're gonna pay them.
I kind of wonder, like, the UN was trying to start a a ceasefire, like negotiations with the U.S. ambassador, like in the middle, or leading the charge, I guess, and if they say no, what can the UN do to stop them? Like, are we gonna have to invade Israel, or are we gonna have to like forcibly stop their hand? Like,
we're gonna pay them.
As far as now in the region, it's a modernized nation. Like, it can defend itself from larger groups and stuff like that. It's just why it's willing to, I think, wipe out this portion of Palestine. So I don't know. Like, I don't think the UN has ever had to like discipline one of their own, and I think that's weird. I don't know what they can do.
I told you, they're not gonna do it aggressively. Israel means so much to the UN, dude, and they understand that. Their leverage. I don't want to be racist here, and I'm not gonna try and sound racist at any cost of anything. But every Jewish friend I've known has been good with leverage, and I don't think they're dumb. I think they understand the position they're in, just like Doc said, and so pay me. UN, pay me. Whether it's agriculture, whether it's food, whether it's this, gold, this, that. Israel will be making some demands. The ceasefire, the negotiation, they don't need to negotiate with Palestine. They really need to negotiate with us, the UN. That's the real person, the people they have to negotiate with. What Palestine got to say? What? We gonna stop shooting?
Do it.
Like, what? We take half your strip if we want to on Wednesdays. Just throw parties on your strip on Wednesdays if we want to. That's how superior they are. So, no, you're going to pay them. This whole thing, the conflict's been over. Now Israel's trying to figure out what they can get.
Yeah. All right, let's get away from this heavy stuff and get something a little more, I don't know if lighthearted is the word, but I think funny.
Oh, God.
So we have a woman forced a Dogecoin millionaire to ejaculate inside her at gunpoint.
Damn, this is a fucking hard left. I'm not gonna lie, holy shit.
I didn't get us out of the energy room because I was trying to I wasn't trying to get too deep with the Palestine thing. Like I said, like I'm just reluctant to talk about it because personally I'm not too informed about it, and I feel like if anything out of my mouth about it would have been complete ignorance. And this just is funny. Yeah, it's a complete left turn, but hey, change it up. Let's get some laughs going. So let me read this.
Wow.
So Albuquerque, New Mexico, Jennifer Garza, a 25-year-old woman, allegedly forced a 21-year-old Tinder date to ejaculate inside of her vaginal cavity in hopes of conceiving. The wording in this.
No. She raped him.
Oh yeah, no, let me read more. Like, it's funny. So
fucking wording it like that.
A Tinder date that started that's right anyway. A Tinder date that started as a simple hookup ended up as a sperm robbery after Thomas Martinez, a Dogecoin millionaire, showed Garcia his cryptocurrency wallet after engaging in sexual intercourse. I told you I was going to get some laughs. Garcia go for it, Doc.
I'm sure that man was scared to death, but that term sperm robbery is the funniest fucking thing I've heard.
Dude, that's what I was laughing about. Sperm robbery, it's a stick up.
Yeah. Garcia then convinced Martinez to have unprotected sex with her, stating that the condom was irritating her skin.
Oh, was it?
She told him to pull out if he is scared of getting her pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Quote, I think she knows that I was going to pull out any second because she told me to slow down and then reach for a pistol under her mattress, pointed it to my head, and told me to come inside her like God intended.
Wait, so what was going to happen? But what was going to happen if he didn't?
Good question.
I ain't going to lie. That, first and foremost, hold on. Gun to my head, son. My dick shrinking on everything I love. on everything I love.
All
My
that blood's
focus-
leaving. It's going straight
What?
to your brain now. Whoa,
What? I
I'm
gotta
alert.
think.
I'm alert.
So what you gonna have to cut it off and get some sperm to go because, baby, this thing ain't working. I swear to God. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No amount of feeling gun to my head?
Mm-mm. I'm actually curious. Like, did he lose his heart on? Because if he kept it on, like, bro, what kind of freaky shit are you into? Like, how did you keep it up?
She told him to go slow, right?
Blah, blah, blah.
So he had more control.
Thomas said he thought she was joking until she showed her that the gun was loaded. She told him she wants his baby and called him Dogecoin Poppy.
Dodgecoin Poppy. Wow.
This is awesome.
That's wow.
He had to have flexed it though. He had to have flexed his Dogecoin.
No,
whatever.
he did.
No, he did.
He did. It says it. Where is it? It said he flaunted his wallet, his cryptocurrency wallet to her. Where did it say that?
Yeah, it did. After engaging in sexual intercourse, so they did it once.
Yeah, they did it already once. Then once I guess she wanted round 2, but this time round 2 was like, no, this time.
Oh, it's fucking. Is this in Albuquerque, man? Because this might make a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Read this man. No,
Let
please let me read it. Please let me read it.
Hey, Tariff, right here. Go for it.
No. Yeah, there you go. A terrified Thomas said he was so scared that it took him 10 minutes to ejaculate with the gun on his head. I went to the police station right away after she let me go, hoping to at least make her take a plan B or something.
My guy. They held her for the night in custody, and I think their most significant concern was the gun. And apparently they dropped all the charges because I was the one at her place. And they dropped all charges.
The person who wrote this they deserve a 10 out of 10. Let me read. Whether she's pregnant or not at this point, nobody knows at the moment. Thomas is hoping he'll find a way of dodging the bullet if she had fallen pregnant on that day. Dogecoin.
That's the end of the article.
My boy ended it with a pun. Yes.
So she's not going to get any consequences from this. That's how I'm interpreting this right now. Am I wrong?
She might get like something with the gun. I don't know if assault counts as using the gun counts as aggravated assault or something like that. But she might get something.
I gotta
like
bleep
that.
the R word also, so don't use the R word. It's apparently flagged on YouTube. So yeah.
R word.
Grape.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But it
What?
exists.
It is
That's
what it is,
weird.
dude. It is what it is.
I was thinking the mentally disabled R word, and I was like, what? That one I can kind of see, but yeah, not that other one. That's wild. So yeah, before I mean, this guy was definitely violated.
Niggas
In this
can't talk about
situation,
good old fashioned grapes
What do you mean?
no more.
That's this violated to say the least, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a weird situation too, right? Because I guess
ain't
at
gonna
this
lie
point
to
the
you.
sexism
I'm so
does start to
irritated
come
by what
out.
you just
Let
told
Doc
me.
finish his thought. Hold on.
Well, because with the sexism, like if a guy had done this, like even if they had sex once and then he had done it like the next time and then pulled a gun on a girl, like it totally would count as violation.
He'd be in
And-
jail.
Yeah.
How come YouTube start flagging that shit as soon as women start doing the grape shopping?
It's been for I think for a while now. I'm not sure when they did it, but apparently it's one of the no-go words. Like you can't say AH, and we're gonna get into that later, but you can't say AH and JD.
I don't know what those stand for.
Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. What?
Yeah, dude. Got the, John's face right now.
How did you figure this out?
It's you look things up because I'm trying to get I'm trying to increase our reach on YouTube, and you got to look up things like what affects the algorithm, stuff like that. And there are words that are flagged from the algorithm that if you say it, algorithm will pick up on it, and it'll try to.
And JD.
Interesting.
No, that's
Yeah,
not what
I
I'm
didn't
talking about. Are you making a joke? Or are you serious?
Gene, you said Fantastic Beasts and nothing
Me?
happened to me.
JD is Fantastic Beasts. Pirates of the Caribbean. And then AH is Aquaman.
You can't say though.
You can't say the names. You can say the
Really?
movies and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm thinking
Yeah,
these are.
dude.
I'm thinking
That's
these are
ironic
intricate
that,
ass cuss words
JD
and
is,
hate slang.
No.
I'm like,
Partyverse.
I'm thinking about all the most
His
racist
name
shit
is,
in my mind.
That which cannot be said.
Yeah, that's the joke we made the last time we were talking about is.
Wow, I was trying to. Gene, I was so racist in my head just now.
You gave the name
I was like,
power.
AH?
This guy.
AH? Whoa, what words haven't I heard? JD. Oh man, if you knew what that combo, if you knew what combos was hitting my head with JD, oh, we'd all be banned.
Well, I guess it's a perfect segue. I guess get into this now. So
Wait, but my question is, if these niggas get put in movies, how does the commercial air?
are you talking about this now?
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean 6. They're like, oh, JD's back, y'all. Like, what do they like? Do they
guess
not?
it works out because he's being kind of in a way shunned. So it kind of works out a little bit, I guess. But let's get to it though. So AH may have staged the details of her domestic violence case. May face 4 years in prison.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, so
Gotta be good about it.
actress AH is now being investigated for perjury in her domestic violence case against JD. Her had accused her. I'm just gonna say different names. Poop Bandit had accused her ex-husband of physical abuse during their marriage, after which a UK publication, The Sun, had reported the incident by calling Jack Sparrow a wife-beater. Jack Sparrow lost the libel suit against the publication a year later in 2020, reported Meow?
Meow?
Meow? I don't know what that was. However, it has been reported now that the LAPD is taking another look at the couple's alleged explosive fight that happened in their downtown penthouse in LA in 2016. German outlet BILD reported that the actress is facing allegations. Why did it jump? Allegations that she faked details about the big fight that took place between her and Sparrow, which claims had dragged their marriage to its downfall. Noted attorney and Sparrow's longtime friend, Adam Waldman, confirmed that the investigation against Poop Bandit is underway. He further said, that's tickling you, huh? He further said that he believes that she had staged the crime scene. Poop Bandit and her friend Rocky Pennington staged the May 21 crime scene to prove the abuse allegations against Sparrow.
Wait, hold on. She's gonna be Poop Bandit. Her friend gotta be Rocky Diarrhea.
Poop Bandit and her friend Rocky Diarrhea staged the May 21st crime scene to prove the abuse allegations against Sparrow.
I am not too old for poop jokes. I'm just now understanding this. Wow. Okay.
A body cam footage from the LAPD's responding officer surfaced, which further spurred speculations about Poop Bandit's innocence in the matter. The new police testimony and the footage are recent developments in the ongoing domestic violence legal battle between the couple. Waldman claims that the new evidence proves that the crime scene was an enormous lie. He says that it only goes on to show that the explosive fight never really took place. According to reports, the two officers who responded to the scene also said in their individual statements that they didn't see any evidence of crime at all. And I guess it just gets more deeper into it. I just think this is funny. It's the last paragraph, and I guess we'll talk about it. Apart from the libel case, Sparrow lost a defamation lawsuit against Poop Bandit, which he had filed after he lost movie roles due to her domestic violence claims. Poop Bandit had also sued Sparrow back, alleging that the Pirates of the Caribbean star had organized a harassment campaign via Twitter and by orchestrating online petitions in an effort to get her fired from Aquaman and L'Oreal. Wow. Poop Bandit was fired from Aquaman after evidence of her own abuse towards Sparrow surfaced. Her last appearance was in Justice League Snyder's Cut. According to reports, she now wants to grill Sparrow's attorney friend Waldman in court about alleged tabloid leaks. Poop Bandit claims that in order to tarnish her image and to shred her allegations, Waldman had fed private information and stories to the media that portrayed her in a negative light. Huh. Well.
She's talking about the truth. She didn't like that.
She didn't like that.
Wow. Anyway, so the bitch been, how many episodes is this now we've done?
This would be 56.
And at least 3 or 4 of them, we've mentioned Poop Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
And she been getting crazier in lies every single time. So it's safe to say Poop Bandit is a piece of shit. The crazy witch needs locked up. Lock her up and throw away the key. She should be in jail, one wrote, while another wrote, lock her up and throw away the key.
These are comments from people online.
Man, you didn't have to say that part.
Sorry. It's funny, huh?
I was doing some journalism.
It would never top Sparrow's little letter he wrote about Poop Bandit.
Man.
Remember that?
Oh, man.
So well written.
He wrote that as Jack Sparrow. He wrote that as Jack Sparrow. And I think you just... Did you say it?
I almost did, but no.
Oh, okay.
I said the J.
The Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
We should all just spend the rest of the episode getting away saying.
I guess this is really entertaining people a lot too on the internet, man. That's probably why they have to get rid of it.
Entertaining? What do you mean?
Like it's like a high profile drama. So people are like, "Oh, what's happening? Did you pick a side? Are you team
They're wasting
Sparrow?"
the last of the best years of Sparrow's acting.
Yeah.
And that's actually what's upsetting me. Because I love his Jack Sparrow walk.
For me, it just goes.
I think I said it.
What?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I didn't have any control when I was speaking.
This guy. No, it's just women in our legal system get it easy. As evidence of the last one we were talking about, how all charges were dropped, and now this one she can fake stuff and still win her lawsuit. It's just kind of like, wow.
You know what's crazy? The amount of women
Easy mode.
The amount of women that came out against her in Johnny Depp's defense was wild. You never normally see that.
Never.
And
I appreciated that.
You never see that. It's normally one girl, the Sarah Silverman.
I wonder if on like a macro level, like dudes are just getting more fraternal because of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then girls are gonna be like, "How come you won't hang out with us?" And we're like, "We're cool."
That's actually going on. Apparently, and I don't know how true this is. I watched like Kevin Samuels and Fresh Fit and all that other stuff, like the dating channels, because I'm just interested how the dating community is going. And apparently, there's a consensus going on that like men just don't want to date. Like they're checking out. Like they're just like, no, we're unhappy. We're not doing this. Like y'all enjoy yourself, since everyone's all about being,
100%.
Yeah.
We're
seeing it. Like we're seeing it in the dating market. Like men just aren't dating anymore, and if they do date, it's the ones who can afford it.
I just realized the last fucking topic.
I probably should have done that before we did this. So, well, on that note, let's change topics. So this popped up on.
Who grabs?
Go for it.
Who's supposed to hold it?
This is why I gotta get video going so people can see what we're talking about. Like y'all gotta see this. So Stitch Bug Studio. They are selling something called a Bitty Bug Soft Packer for $6.
They have different shapes, dude.
And colors. They show you a little size comparison too. Well, wait, John. If you scroll down, there's more.
What? Are those the big ones? Is that just the nutsack?
So let's read real quick what it is, so everyone knows what we're talking about. It's super vigor now. Like, just tell us what it is. Bitty Bug Soft Packers is a custom prosthetic packer in youth size, made for some soft, durable yarn and polyester
It's a
filing.
small, well-knitted penis. It's a small, well-knitted penis. That's what it is.
And balls.
And
balls. Twigs and berries.
And I'll tell you what, the material looks fantastic.
No, it really does. It looks soft.
Well, it looks knitted to perfection. But it's a small penis and balls knitted for kids who believe they deserve it or are
girls who think they're boys who want to have a bulge
at that age.
And they even have a toddler's underwear for reference. Don't know why that's there.
Flash has
Wait, is that what it's
penis.
for? I thought it was just like a novelty gift, like a joke.
No, dude. They're serious. This is what they seriously sell this thing for. Is for toddlers. I don't know if it's big. I don't want to. They say youth.
I got you.
I want to go for it.
Note to our customers: this product is not for infants and toddlers. There has been some confusion for those who do not believe in trans children exist or do not understand gender dysphoria and how gender-affirming prosthetics can help reduce it. The Bitty Bug is intended for parents of transgendered youth who have expressed their gender-affirming needs and who are looking for a product that is non-invasive, impermanent, and age and size appropriate. Clearly, infants and toddlers are not capable of expressing that kind of need. We're here to provide parents with an appropriate, impermanent option to help their trans youth.
There's so much
And
inconsistencies in that statement.
they're fighting suicide with the well-knitted penis and balls.
Well, if it's not intended for infants and children, why do they make it the size?
It's intended for parents to buy it for infants and children.
That's why I said that whole statement was full of inconsistencies.
Bullshit.
And it's, just bullshit. Fake deep thinking, if you will.
These niggas here, boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if it was just like for
How dare they make that and then breathe mask?
Yeah,
Look
I
at the
think the
top
bigger
right
sizes
fucking
make
corner.
sense for the people that
What?
like make the decisions to be transgender, but for like the infants, I'm just like, what?
So they making well knitted penises and face masks at the same time in the same place?
Same yarn, bro.
same yarn. I just feel like
Go down. Is that black one the biggest one? Or I'm tripping?
I'm gonna click and let's find out. Yeah, it's the biggest one.
Wow. I'm done here. I am done here. Y'all remember how
They give you an example.
Hey, that's the little bug. That's the 4.5 little bug. 2 ounces.
What are we doing?
Adorable and functional.
What do you mean by functional? I
I
don't think it's functional.
don't think that thing functional at all.
I don't know. I got nothing to say. I just wanted to show y'all. I get y'all's reaction.
Wow.
I appreciate it, John.
I think these are those people that like that are like
People
a little too into what they're doing. They're a little too weird. You know what I mean?
Man, don't let me get to talking, man. I'm trying to tell you, this whole episode will get taken off.
Like this kind of stuff, like sure, go for it. But it's just when you start getting into even if they say that inconsistent disclaimer, not for infants and toddlers, it's clearly, look at the size of it. It's clearly for, at the very least, toddlers. Actually, matter of fact, let me clarify. What age is an infant? What's an infant and what's a toddler?
Okay, I stand corrected then. I forgot that was there because I thought it was for infants.
Infant is year 1 to 0, and toddler.
I think it's 2 to 3.
So 1 to 2.
1 to 3.
This one says 1 to 3. So then what's after that? Child?
Yeah, it's just a child.
Even still.
So,
I think only like teens
I think
can
that's a
really make the
scapegoat,
decision of transgender.
Because when I think of this, I don't think of a 1 to 2 year old. I think of like a 3-year-old.
I was thinking like 4 or 5 year olds.
So that's why I feel like this is a really
so
sneaky
it's not
escape.
Infants for toddlers, but it's for kids.
It's for kids, exactly. It's still the problem, I would argue.
And they try to slide the word youth.
No, they try to slide it. This part is for infants and children.
But in order to identify the age group, they say transgendered youth. Man, you know what? No, I don't wish on nobody. But man, you know what I actually do? I'm gonna be honest with myself, Gene. If transgender men out there tricking straight men and that they're girls, I hope it's transgender women out there. That's women who transition to men, and I hope that when the women pull down their pants, they got stitch bugs.
I mean, it's not even mean. It's just being honest.
How would you feel? How as a woman?
I feel like transgender women, men to girls, and then transgender men, women to men. I feel like the transgender girls are way more successful in the dating market than the transgender men, because women are super
100%.
selective. Like they're brutal when it comes to selecting someone to be at the very least sexually whatever with. So for the trans men, like, it's probably hard. But for the trans women, like, you just got to find that one guy. Just got to find that one guy.
No, I don't think so, because
there will always be that one guy that'll have sex with that one girl, but there will never be that one girl that has sex with that one guy.
No, but this is the thing, Gene. A lot of girls who date women who transition to men view it as just being in a lesbian relationship.
But isn't that going against how they identify themselves?
Yeah,
isn't that
but
disrespectful then to how they identify?
They can say whatever, but the partner is assimilating it as, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're a girl, like, you don't have a real dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or she would choose, okay, so she should be happy with the stitch bug. That was my question. I wasn't wishing this on anybody. I'm just saying, like, you know how men would be shocked if they made out with some girl that got drunk and they found out it was trans in the club? Or, like, they're about to fuck, and then they found, oh, shit, it's a nigga. Like,
dude, I've heard
how would girls
about the tricks that they do.
How would girls feel if they was finna get down and dirty and goddamn they had the 4.5, the little, what they call it, the little bug?
Little bug, yeah, here. Bitty bug.
The bitty bug, soft pecker. would you be allowed to get mad because they identify? Anyway, let's end this episode.
Well, I mean, can you get mad? Because, like, you can't do anything with it. So it's just kind of like you teased me, I guess. But on the other
You
spectrum.
thought you was finna. They identified as a man, Gene. They didn't tell you they didn't tell you they were trans. You know.
Well, I'm trying to think of because you said the trick aspect. So when a man who identifies as a woman tricks a man to have sex with her, usually what they do, and I've heard stories, they tape it up to their stomach and they just don't, like, they interact with them a certain way. They never see them straight forward. So when they say something about butt, and then boom, like, they just never know. Like, they get tricked. But whereas with the woman getting tricked by a trans man,
I wasn't actually even thinking about the engaging of the sex. I was thinking about right before, up until.
Well, you can't. So what I'm saying is you can't. Like, literally, it's either there or it's not. But with the other one,
it's
with
like
a man, you can easily.
You might accidentally see the dick. You might. I'm just saying. I wasn't thinking about sex, Gene. I was just thinking about up until the moment when you think you're finna get something and you get the opposite.
I mean, there's
thing.
a line you got to step over the moment, and I'm saying
So
in one instance, sometimes that line's easily stepped over. In the other instance, like, it's a hard line, like, or not.
100%. But that's what I'm saying.
What I try to do is I try to play defense. Like, I live in a pretty liberal city, and I go downtown, and yeah, it's just like there's a lot of trans people downtown, and so I play defense. I just kind of assume everybody's a man at first, and then I move from there.
100%, my boy.
Isn't that a weird way to navigate, though?
It's a safe way to navigate.
It is weird, man, but, like, I've gone into trans clubs, and, like, it's just the safest thing you can do, man. Like, just assume everybody that you meet is, like, one. Not like to.
I'm about to give a compliment to some of these trans girls out there. Some of these girls do a great job. Like, it's really hard to tell.
Well, yeah, that's why. Like, I kind of walk in with a defensive mindset where I'm like, everyone's a man to an extent, unless I speak to them and get to know them better, and I don't get too drunk, and I just kind of navigate my way through it, hang out with my friends, and then I leave, and then I go wherever I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Somebody gonna come out with an instant gender test right there.
What?
Right there. I don't know how, Gene.
Pre or post surgery test.
I mean, I don't know what.
Because if it's a pre-surgery, all you gotta do is just grab the genitals, and right there, like, you're not really a man. Oh,
I don't even care no more. I don't even care. I don't trust.
It's invasive as fuck, though. But I mean,
anything. Yeah, I'm not grabbing. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't
so
either.
Test. Okay, hey, how you doing? Oh, cool.
It blurs a lot of lines, but you eventually find, like, I feel like you're centered in it.
You gotta poke her real quick, get a blood sample.
This freaking guy.
Because, like, in those places, like, I don't know if y'all know, or if you guys ever been to places like that, but, like, everyone uses the same restroom. So when you go in to use the restroom, like, you kind of, like I said, you just got to be playing defense, man, and be like, okay, cool, like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I need to, go out, hang out, come with transgender people. Like, they're interesting to talk to and stuff.
That came to my head. Sorry, Doc, finished. I apologize.
I was just like, like, everyone, if you're having a good time, if you're socializing, like, even transgender people, like, they're interesting people to talk to, and they have different perspectives of life. But it's like, if I'm not attracted to them and I don't feel safe in the area, I'm not going to be attracted to anybody in that area, man. And I'm just going to move on.
Yeah, I got you.
When Doc said that, the
one
instant
trans in the
memory
pond,
I thought of.
The whole thing gone.
So he said they share bathrooms. No, I'm not going to say that.
We have one at my job that shares.
No, it's not. No, it's something else. What?
Yeah, I just found that out today. She uses both bathrooms. I have no opinion on it.
No, I'm not. All right, guys. I think that's enough fake deep taking for today.
Huh? Where were we going?
Make sure you follow our Twitter at podcast FDT.
Yep.
Follow our YouTube page, Fake Deep Taking.
Yep.
Make sure you leave a like, a comment, and share. Please share. Helps our channel grow. See you next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.
I guess it's just
Peace.
shorter. I don't know.